everyone, and thanks for joining us. Today we're back with multi-genre author Sean Gregory. Hey, Sean, welcome back.
Hey, good to have you back again. I love talking to you. You're so much fun, so it's going to be a good one, I think.
Likewise, Sean, you too. I'm excited because today I want to talk all about audience and publishing goals with you. So let's start with how did you determine your ideal readers for each genre, and how do you attempt to connect with them in your stories?
That's actually really hard, and I'll be honest with you, I'm still learning. It's not easy, and I'm a new published author. Everybody says you got to find your readers. I'm finding them, but it's a slog. It's nobody tells you when you are aspiring to be an author that a big part of your job, that 80% of your job is marketing yourself. And, which is most of us struggle to do. But finding your audience is the first thing. So I made it very clear, what my book is about. I didn't hide the fact that my book is very dark fantasy, and it deals with some dark themes. And if people go to Goodreads and they go read the reviews, they'll see the resounding theme is this is dark. And I'm finding the people who like dark stuff, and you'd be surprised the number of people that actually really do. So that's the first thing. Just be very clear about what your theme is. Is it dark? Is it light? Is it romance? Is it, whether it's fantasy or real world or historical fiction, because people bounce around genres, they don't particularly bounce around themes. I find that most people who read dark stuff really only want to read dark stuff, and people who read light stuff only want to read light. And so that's the thing. I think if you're going to find your audience, target from there first and then move into the genre specific.
Yeah, that's a great point. I see that a lot with people sticking really to those themes. Now, what would you say are your main tips for planning long-term goals for, say, the series that you're writing?
We talked about this before, having deadlines, but more than just deadlines, set yourself an agenda for how you're going to tackle getting the word out, and have a plan for how especially if you're doing a trilogy, have a plan for getting the books out, because people won't wait very long. They're not going to, Patrick Rothfuss is a prime example. He's losing readers because his third book is now, I think, 10, 11 years too late.
Mm.
People are waiting for it. So that's the first thing. The second thing, especially if you're multi-genre, like I am, because I just love too many genres, so I like to play around. Make it clear that that's what you are, and have a campaign or strategy for each of your genres that you want to put out there. And if you can cross into your other readers, great. But you may not be able to, because some people don't want to read a detective story. They want to read only a fantasy, and some people don't want to read sci-fi, and I do all of it, and I do horror, and I do so it's kind of like have a plan for each release for how you're going to put it out there, including and I look at swag, and I think of campaigns, and whether I need arcs and beta readers, and all of that. So you have to plan that out. You can't just willy-nilly it, or you'll flounder and end up going, I can't seem to get anything done.
Right. Now, on the marketing side, what would you say are some of your main marketing tips for authors?
People say that RSS feeds are dead, yet meanwhile, I have 122 people who are subscribed to my RSS feed. So blogs are not dead, whether people think they are or not. I think the advent of bots and AI and social media are driving people to the old school newsletters and blogs, and they're looking for something where they can get away from the bots. Right.
Mm.
So that's the first thing. I think that, for me, I was amazed. I've got 33 people already in my Discord server, and I get requests to join all the time. People DM me on social media. But you got to be active. I find that, my social media presence spikes when I get real heavy active, and I'm honest and truthful about who I am, and I just kind of put myself out there, and it's like I'm a take me or leave me, love me or hate me kind of POV. It's you've got to be consistently out there to drive people to you, because there's a lot of noise, and we're all going to
Hmm.
get lost in the noise. So being present, but also I think being genuine is like the number one thing that I think really draws people in. And I think about it. I think about, I actually can remember when you found me, believe it or not. It's, you liked something and you liked it and you commented on how genuine it felt, how much fun it felt, or, and these are the things that I think that all authors need to think about when it comes to the marketing strategy. You got to attack it on multiple fronts. You've got to be consistent. You can't be afraid to talk about what you're doing. Going on things like this, I got to be honest with you. I don't say the only time I've said no to anybody who has asked if I would join their podcast or be on an interview or anything are people who philosophically do not align to me. And
Mm.
and what I mean by that is, there was one that very much was targeting a very specific group of people that I knew I wasn't a good fit for. Wasn't about they weren't a good fit for me. I'll be honest with you. I want everybody in the world to read my books, and every author does, and I don't care, right? I want everyone to read. I want everybody to find something in it that resonates with them and enjoy it, right? But if I'm not a good fit for you, then I don't want to be, I don't want to hurt your brand by being a bad fit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great thing to think about. Now, before I forget, I would love for you to just explain what is Discord to our authors that may not know.
So Discord is it's a secure communication app. It's the best way to describe it is it's people getting together and creating their own niche social groups that are private,
Mm.
right? There are some public things you can create a server, you can go in there, you can invite people, they join, they come in and people chit chat. And it's, this goes all the way back to like the old chat room days. Everybody's online at once and everybody's just talking and having conversations and it can get real noisy and you can create sub channels within it, but it's secure and it's moderated, so every single server has a moderator. I have two moderators in mine just to make sure that people I don't tolerate hate speech, I don't tolerate attacking one another. We're here to talk about books, and specifically we're here in my Discord to talk about my books, but free to talk about other books too, share things. I'm trying to create a community of people who enjoy reading what I write and want to know what I'm doing next and want to share things that they're doing, and so that's what Discord is. And it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun. It's been very rewarding. I've actually made friends with some of my readers who now are like, I want to be a moderator in the Discord. And oh, by the way, I want to join your street team. And I have two people that I've met totally through social media who now run my street team. And they are like, hey, what can we do to help you? Here's what we need from you to make us more successful. And you know what I did? I said, you will never pay for another book. You'll never pay for another piece of swag. You two get everything for free.
Oh,
It's
that's great.
and they're like, no, 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 we're here to support you. And I'm like, this is more than I could ever ask for from any human being. So from a marketing connect with people.
Yeah, that's a great way to just kind of create your own little private community of fans, friends, and it's just vetted and it just sounds like a great way to grow your author brand as well. So Sean, lastly, I want to close with what advice would you give new authors navigating their first book release?
The first thing I would do is I would say write, because you'll see a lot of discussion about word count. How many words did I get? How many words did I get? Write, and just let it go. Just get the words out. That's the first thing I would say. Just do it. If you have something, you feel you have something to say, write like your life depends on it. Get it out, because to be honest with you, until you do, it's just going to eat at you in the back of your head anyway. That's the first thing. The second thing I would say is connect with other authors, whether they're local, whether they're on Threads, whether they're in Discord, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, wherever it is. Connect with other authors, build a circle of authors that you connect with on every level that you can talk with, because even one of my editors is an author, and had a conversation with her. We happened to be talking about my thing, and she's like, yeah, I'm kind of stuck on something. And I was like, what are you stuck on? And she told me, and I said, let's give me a call, let's talk on the phone right now. And we kind of brainstormed a little bit, and she was like, oh my God, you unclogged my brain. So having that network of people to talk to, because it is not in a vacuum. That's the other thing I would say. Write, write, just start doing it. Connect with other writers.
Well, Sean, thank you so much. That was wonderful insight on audience, social media, and publishing goals.
Absolutely a joy as always. I'm very happy to help, and hopefully, I'm helping other authors. To be honest with you, that's it's a lot of joy to help other people and kind of give my lessons learned or little tidbits that I've discovered.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to today's interview with multi-genre author Sean Gregory. Be sure to check out our website for more videos. Wishing you all a fulfilling and successful writing journey.